guys? Happy Thursday to everybody but Shannon. Should we call him Django Unplayed? Mr. Rice? Listen, Shannon Sharpe just made the biggest mistake of his life. I know you guys already heard, but if not, let's get into this. Shannon Sharpe misestimated the game. Long story short, he is stepping down from ESPN, but here's another thing that sources are saying. That his little podcast deal for $100 million that everybody on Twitter was saying, oh, this always got to be because she signed a $100 million deal. And that may or may not be true. Both things can be true at once. Baby, guess what? The $100 million deal was never signed in ink. It was never confirmed. They were going to come together, but the ink wasn't dry on the contract. It looks like Shannon has completely, if not lost that deal, they're now renegotiating that deal that they gave him, and he is going to get far, far less. Y'all, listen, Cat Williams tried to tell him. They said they will take you down in 2 weekends. It didn't even take one. Monique said, stop messing with these young girls and get you a nice old woman, and that's going to cook you some pecan pie and rub your feet. But Shannon ain't want Miss Mabel, because if he tried that mess with Miss Mabel keep that razor on her. That's all I'm saying. These older women, they don't be playing. You know, our grandmother taught us, Murray, what is it? Murder him, bury him, tell the neighbors he left. Anyway, y'all, let's get into this because there is so much fun stuff coming out about this. So we got to drag Shannon. Let me just say this, right? And this might be an unpopular opinion, but Shannon is so GD stupid. Not the fact that, one, you are running around having great fantasies with 19-year-olds that didn't sign NDAs. If you want to mess with a 19-year-old, you need to get in your head that, yes, they are crash outs. Yes, they do blow up. Yes, they do take things too far. If you want to date a 19-year-old man or woman, Uncle Shannon. But honestly, even to the fact of he's trying to couch this in misogynies, you guys had over 100 instances of BS, of like rough role play smacks. Okay, but Shannon, consent. Part of the user thing baked in is if you are into that, you need to do it with someone you absolutely trust, because it's going to be real easy for them to jam you up. Buyer beware. On top of that, you let us know that you was a sucker into play, which is just weird, right? But oddly enough, with his past comments, it makes sense. But on top of that, you now are letting us know that you know exactly how many times you had smecks with this OnlyFans model that looked like the girl in school. And first of all, she's 19, she looked like she's 16, and she looked like the girl in class nobody ever looked twice at. And Shannon, you're the one literally getting googly-eyed over. In any case, but let's get into this because I can't drag Shannon so early. We have to get into the report. I'm going to read it in a second. But at the end of the day, you know you had exactly how many times with her, because every single time you hit that, you sent money. So you thought because she was a Smex worker, you could treat her any way you want. And this is what you went to. You are literally paying people to spit in your face and call you a ninja. Baby, listen, if anybody wants some quick money and you happen to look like this young girl, if you are over the age of 19, just lie about your age. He like them young. Just lie about your age. Put pigtails on and be like, hi, Daddy, I heard you. Like, shut up, ninja. That's all you got to do. Anyway, let's get into the Shannon stories because, again, the biggest L, first of all, Shannon made a decision. Now, I don't think this was a decision that he made. If you guys don't know, last night, Stephen A. Miller went on and said that he couldn't defend him. He was the main advocate for Shannon. He was letting the world know, and also Shannon know, that ESPN bosses were not happy with them and they were cutting ties with them. Okay? Shannon put out this statement this morning. He said, my statement is found here, and this is the truth. My relationship in question was 100% consensual. Is there ever any rapist in the world that says that it's not consensual? Listen, he goes on to say, at this juncture, I am electing to step aside temporarily from my ESPN duties. You came out talking big and bad in your pimp named Slickback blue check suit, sitting there arms or hands oiled up, cocoa butter gleaming, talk about some, let me tell you what really happened. Again, we'll get into that because that was a dumb move also on Shannon's behalf. But Shannon's been making a bunch of dumb moves. Let me just move this over. This is really bothering me. Okay. Now, what's next? He goes on to say, I'll be devoting this time to my family. What family does this boy have? And responding and dealing with these false, disruptive allegations set against me. I plan to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL season. When's NFL season start? What? Hold on, y'all. Can somebody let me know, when does the NFL season start? Hold on. Fine. Y'all want to tell me? I'll ask ChatGTP. Hold on. When does NFL season start? As you can tell, I don't be following the athletes. September. Okay, so he's taking the summer off. Okay, Shannon, you ain't coming back. I sincerely appreciate the overwhelming and ongoing support I've received from my family, my fans, my friends, and my colleagues. Again, Shannon, what support? September. Thank you, Sean. And thank you, Super Big. Listen, what support have you received? Listen, let me just say this before we get into the dragging. This is truly Shannon's lawyer's fault. How they fumbled it this badly, I will never know. This girl, I don't care what you say, this girl had you dead to rights. So much so that you were going to give her $10 million to go away. Your old lawyers were getting the deal done, all the stuff. All of a sudden, Shannon started being cheap and stingy, right? And the funny thing is, I think this is why they're saying he got in this whole situation. A lot of the other OnlyFans models that he wanted to, have the situation with, they demanded if he made them sign an NDA, their prices went up for talking. He paid them to talk, right? If they signed an NDA, they would charge them a certain rate. So let's just say for each little fantasy fulfilled, let's just say they would drop $15K. This is what I'm hearing from the streets. People have been in my DMs. Let's just say that they're like, all right, if you want the girlfriend experience, that's going to be $15,000. Okay. Shannon would be like, yo, do the NDA. And they'd be like, oh, you want me to sign an NDA? No. The price just went up. It's $20,000. It's $23,000. Remember when that girl said it's going to cost you $25K to kiss each cheek? She wasn't joking. Shannon pays, but Shannon pays because he likes that ambience of pure terror and grape, right? In any case, the girls didn't want to sign an NDA for the price. This girl was willing to do it cheaper than everyone else. So much so that Shannon said, you know what? Forget it. I don't even need an NDA. And now look at you. You were being cheap and stingy because she was coming in for $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 instead of actually paying a professional $20,000. And now look where you are. Okay. Now, let me get back on point. So anyway, Shannon being cheap. How does this play into the lawyers? He had old lawyers. They literally said, yo, $10 million will pay for this girl to go away. Shannon was mad that he had to pay that $10 million, even though he easily had it. And even though I don't think it's up for debate anymore whether he raped this girl, right? Because after it happened, the girl texted him, no means no. Even I don't care what our prior relationship was, you had no right to blank her without protection and spun her over and, backdoor. Trying not to get demonetized. I probably got demonetized 5 sentences ago. Anyway, right? She said that he raped her and he did all this stuff and he didn't even use protection, okay? Instead of just saying, what are you talking about? What? Girl, stop. What did he immediately say? Like someone that's done that before? He said, yo, can I call you either later or can I call you to talk about this? If somebody, let me tell you, men or women, if somebody texts you accusing you of really raping them, would you be like, yo, let me call and talk? No, you wanted to take the conversation offline because you didn't even want any damning proof. And you took. And on top of that, that girl left Vegas. Now, we can make the argument that this was a setup from the start, right? It is Tony Busby. After that whole Jay-Z thing, I pretty much lost faith in Tony Busby until he shows some proof. She left Vegas. But even then, you can't have it both ways. You are either the dumbest person in the world and you let a 19-year-old little girl run game on your 56-year-old self, or you grape this girl and then you try to gaslight her and whatnot. And even if you, and I don't understand, well, anyway, let's get back into this, right? So where's this cheapness come from? They was about to settle for 10 million. Don't no innocent person settle for 10 million unless you Jeff Bezos. Shannon Sharpe got money, but he is not Jeff Bezos. What happened after that? He saw Jay-Z and Alex Spiro destroy Tony Busby. And Shannon's cheapness came into play, and he said, yo, I don't got to pay 10 million. Keep that money, because you know those little size medium, like express men's stretchy suits, baby, they cost a pretty penny, right? So he decided that his old lawyers weren't giving him good advice, and he decided that he was going to go with new lawyers to save that 10 million. The new lawyers advised him to dox this girl. Once he doxed her and gave her information and her OnlyFans account, which, by the way, that was the dumbest thing also. Shannon, did you think the world was going to S-shame her? She's probably having her highest grossing OnlyFans month in the world. Everybody that got race play, buck fantasies, all this stuff, they are in her DMs. People are probably looking just to see the woman that took down the ass that took down Shannon Sharpe. So one, by releasing her OnlyFans, you didn't shame her. You gave her her best month she's going to have ever. You literally launched her career. She's probably going to be, by the end of the year, one of the top paid OnlyFans models, right? But two, you, what do you call it with the settlement negotiations? They usually are 100% confidential. All settlement negotiations are confidential. Most people sign NDAs. It cannot be used in court unless somebody breaches the agreement. Once somebody breaches the agreement, there is no more confidentiality. By Shannon's lawyer's advice for him to dox a girl, give her name, give her OnlyFans, he breached the settlement agreement. Once that happened, it came known that he tried to settle for $10 million. Now, why did he try to do this? Well, I have some, listen, why is this important? Because Shannon Sharpe is dumb and his lawyers are dumb. I know he was looking at what happened with Jay-Z and Tony Busby. And I'm not going to lie. I thought that the woman with Tony Busby and everything was telling the truth until he literally just completely dropped the case with prejudice. But even if he dropped the case, he still could have released the evidence. He didn't even release the evidence, which leads me to believe that the case with Tony Busby and Jay-Z was a non-starter. He really didn't have that much proof, okay? He looked at that case and the way Alex Spiro utterly humiliated Tony Busby and the way they are 10 seconds on Busby's ass, and you thought that applied to you. There is a woman who was accusing Jay-Z of rape, that it came out that she had a history of mental illness. She's not the most reliable witness. She kept changing her story. On top of that, it happened 20 years ago. And besides the woman's word, and it's hard to take her word because her story kept changing. And again, I was believing her at first. Besides that, there was no other evidence. On top of that, and this is the most important thing that separates Shannon from Jay-Z. One, you ain't married to Beyonce, but also two, there was no other shoes that dropped. No other victims came forward. Now, we can argue that they settled, that Jay-Z paid a settlement. We can argue that they never exist. Who cares? The point is, publicly, there were no other shoes to drop. Nobody came out with any other weird stories like they did with Diddy. Now, let's cut to Shannon Sharpe. This girl got text messages. There is an actual video. That's what I wanted to tell y'all. The streets have been talking to me. Why is there a video? A lot of people thought that this girl set up a camera and set him up. No, she's an OnlyFans girl. She has a Ring camera or cameras, surveillance cameras all over the inside of her house, catching footage because she pre-filmed stuff. You know, when they say like it's a live stream, it's not necessarily a live stream. So there's always cameras going on in her house, not a live stream feed, but they're always recording content that she can later repurpose. Again, I know y'all want to think it, but y'all fake OnlyFans girls don't get up and do the do every single day. So she already had cameras going and they monitor 24 hours a day. Shannon didn't know that. That's where they got this 10-minute tape that shows where everything occurred. On that tape, people are saying, this is sources, right? You ain't hear from me. She is screaming. She is yelling. She is acting like she is actually being raped. The people that have seen this says that it does not seem, or heard about it, it does not seem like she is faking at all. Shannon knows this tape exists. Shannon knows. So Jay-Z got evidence that doesn't even exist from 20 years ago with the story not adding up. This girl has text message, video, receipts. She even has a phone call where she confronted you, text messages that she confronted you about it. And also a phone call when you tried to talk her down, but it didn't work. There are tapes there. And not only that, it didn't happen 20 years ago. It just happened 2 months ago. And you had admitted defeat that you were going to settle for $10 million. And you threw all of that away because you saw Alex Sparrow go to war with Jay-Z. Your lawyer back then to Shannon said, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Let's just pay her money. You get in this contract. I know, but you know what? You can make that 10 million off, but have Cat Williams back on. You can make another 10 million. Just have Cat Williams back on Club Shay Shay. We're going to do this, right? All this stuff happened. He saw it. He got cheap and he said no. And he fired his old lawyers and he got new lawyers. And his lawyers advised him to dox the girl, breaking the confidentiality. His lawyers advised him to do what else? His lawyers advised him to dox the girl. His lawyers advised him to release text messages. And you know what I want to say also? Shannon don't got any black lawyers. Shannon don't got any black lawyers. He should have gotten Tyrone Blackburn to represent him, even though I don't know if Tyrone would. Tyrone represents victims. But my whole point of the matter is, what lawyer who is not white would release text messages letting the world know you like people to spit in your face and call you a ninja? What? Like, please, Miss Daisy. I said, Miss Daisy, what you doing? Master gonna be home, Miss Daisy. What? Shannon, your lawyer. I can never watch Club Shay Shay again. And now I know my Cat Williams, when he was sitting across from him, every time he said something, he would be looking like, every time Cat Williams said something to Shannon Sharpe, he was talking to him, and Shannon Sharpe didn't even get it. What lawyer would tell you that to release text messages knowing that you like play, that you like saying, yeah, you're going to put a big black baby in me, and then he talking about something, it's going to say headline, big black man, little white woman. Are you doing this with a 19-year-old? You doing this with someone that just left their mama's house? Now, I know there's always some weirdos in my chat talking about men prefer younger women. I know they do. They just left their mama's house. You let them have ice cream for dinner. You let them have Teddy Grahams and apple juice even if they didn't finish their homework. You literally sit there and let them eat Kit Kats and Snickers for breakfast. I know y'all do like young girls fresh out of the mama's house. Ooh, you living now. You want some ice cream for dinner? What? I can have ice cream for dinner? Literally, you got somebody fresh out of their mama's house, probably with a few issues in the back, racist, because I don't care what anybody says, and I will stand 10 toes down on this. I've heard a lot of people making excuses. Oh, it's just a fetish. Race is not a fetish. That you have to be racist to have that fetish, and you have to have a lot of self-hate to be in that fetish. Because let me tell you something. If somebody took this little girl and said, all right, now I want you to have dog play. Come on, Rover, it's your turn. Was she doing? I don't know. I hope not. If somebody said, all right, now we're going to like put you in a kindergartner. Action. Make it go. Do something. You would be like, absolutely not. The fact that you would have anyone would have limits on if someone told you to go do it to a dog. If somebody told you to go mess with the kindergarten, you'd be like, absolutely not. I don't care how much you pay me. I'm not into that. It lets me know that to you, that's off limits. But the race, that's not off limits. You're fine with that. You would have spit in his face and called him a ninja for free. The fact that you're getting paid for it, baby, that just makes everything more. And the fact that Shannon gets off, what lawyer advised you to let us know that you get off on that? Shannon, You should be ashamed of yourself. Ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. Anyway, you have to be racist to engage in race play. And you have to be self-hating to take it back. I don't want to hear any excuses. Oh, people are doing it to survive. Unless you are on the street starving, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. So you took someone fresh out their mama's house. We all know that anybody that is under the age of 25 is even in the best of times, is a Division I crash out when their heart gets broken, men or women. When you are under 25, you are a Division I crash out. You don't care. You don't care. Those are the people you could be at a business meeting. They will come into the restaurant. I need to talk to you. How could you? They're Division I crash outs. So you took a 19-year-old that by definition is a Division I crash out just by their nature. You did one that if somebody is racist and don't respect you, that really do see you as some dumb, goofy, filled Negro that's happy to lay up in master's bed while he's gone. You did it to someone that is a SMEX worker, meaning it is transactional, meaning dummy, you should have did it NDA. And at the end of the day, regardless of all that, you raped a woman because you are into overpowering and domineering and being very, very brutal with little white women, and you raped her. And then when she accused you of rape, instead of having any type of normal reaction, you said, yo, can we talk about this on the phone? Y'all, I can't. Listen, I can't. Shannon likes, listen, and I agree with y'all. This is a very good picture of her. And I'm not talking about anybody's looks. I'm just saying that when I first Googled her name, this other girl came up. She's a Latina girl, Ninga. I said, okay, mama body is T. Her face is T. You're still an idiot, but I can see it. I just didn't expect, when I saw the pictures of this girl, and I'm not saying that I'm not talking about a woman's looks. I am saying this. The first 5 pictures I saw of her, and these were people sending me this before the pictures got released, all her pictures were her looking over her shoulder, and you saw a very voluptuous buttocks first, and then you saw her face, right? And at first I was flipping through because she was looking over her shoulder, and I was like, why does she keep leading with her? And then I got to the 6th picture, and I said, I see why you were leading with that. You know, it's like those people when they be on Insta all day. And all the pictures, the camera in every single picture is blocking 80% of their face. So all you see is the hair and the body and this and that. You're like, but why? And then they move the camera and you're like, oh, well, I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everybody's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? But it just would have made sense to me more if, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I expected the girl to look like Sophia Vergara or like, what's a really pretty, or Anne Hathaway, or like, I don't know, like Mia Khalifa, like, I don't know. I was just expecting, like, you know, hit him with the blue, hit him with the za. I was just like the za. I was just expecting like a little something more, not someone that if we're at a party and we leave and I'll be like, yo, remember so-and-so? And you're like, who? And I'm like, you know, the girl, she was standing next to you when you came in, that when you would literally be like, I don't remember. Not this yet, but it's just like, I don't know. I was expecting like Anne Hathaway, Sophia Vergara. You know, I would say Naomi Campbell, but we all know that Shannon Sharpe was not having no Naomi Campbell around. Anyway, you literally are doing all this stuff without an NDA, and you got the nerve to push your way into her apartment. Again, I'm just a woman. I'm not into that, but I would just imagine that nobody has a fantasy about being forcefully raped, right? I mean, let me put a 1 in the comments. Nobody knows who you are. Put a 1 in the comments and let me know if I'm wrong. Do people really get off on being forcibly, like, backdoor raped with no, like, what? There's limits to everything. Slow down, right? Listen, again, to me, this is his lawyer's fault. He made another statement. How he found a bag this badly, I don't know. Again, it was a lie that the ink is dry on that $100 million contract. The contract wasn't set in stone. So you let this come out when you knew you were negotiating for a contract. You really thought you were set. That Club Shay Shay interview went to Shannon Sharpe's head. He really thought he was so beloved. You already did questionable things. I don't like the way he came at Amanda Seales. I don't care if you love or hate Amanda Seales. I don't like the way he was with her in the interview. I don't like the way he treats women in the interview, especially Black women. When Amanda Seales was like, she was a kid and she was bullied by white kids. And she was like, that really stuck with her and this and that. And Shannon was like, are you sure that you was bullied? Are you sure? What if it's because the kid? You're telling somebody, like, when we were kids, we all knew if we were bullied, and we all knew if it was race, because they were doing the things that you paid for. They were spitting in people's faces and calling them ninjas, but you paid for that. You probably was like, Amanda, slow down. So then what happened? How did they say ninja? Was it a ninja or was it a hard ER? Come on, tell me. Slow down. So then what happened? Literally, he probably asked Amanda, how old were you? Ooh, 17. Continue. So it's like, even the way he has questions with Black women, and this is for Black women only. If you're not a Black woman, nobody cares about your opinion. But you know what I'm talking about. He always did these weird things that you were like, you know what? Let's just move on. And you tried to look the other way, but he kept doing those things. But you could smell it. You could smell it, right? The anti-Blackness was wafting off. The self-hate was wafting off, right? And the fact that all this happened because you were trying to save 10 million, you lost pretty much $100 million contract. If that podcast contract does go through, baby, they said that money is being slashed by at least 80%, which 20 million is still a lot, but now you're going to have to pay it to this girl in court. You think you're going to come back to ESPN? Why would Shannon voluntarily? He just filmed a commercial. Why would you, for his new show, why would you voluntarily step back? You didn't. ESPN said, we are not supporting you. You are not Jay-Z. You are not married to Beyonce. There's proof after proof after proof. His new lawyers are idiots. Listen, and get this. His new lawyers are still voluntarily putting out damaging info about Shannon to TMZ. Like, why he thought to admitting doing BDSM at least 100 times with a literal teenager would be a good look, I do not know. Actually, let's get into the statement. Where's he at? Hold on, let's read his statement where this is what, listen, I really don't know as you read this, just keep this in mind. Judaboo, Miss Daisy, I don't know, Miss Daisy, is Master okay? Miss Daisy, why you touching me there? This man got slave fantasies from 19-year-olds that he's paying to spit in his face and call him a ninja. Shannon, I really don't know what Shannon Sharpe's lawyers think they're accomplishing here. I think they're hoping to desensitize everyone when the tape comes out, so it won't be as shocking. But from the people that I've heard that have knowledge of this tape, they are saying that the tape, there ain't no way a jury can look at that tape and think that it's anything but what this girl says it is. Anything but. Okay, they said those close to Shannon Sharpe, this is directly from TMZ, are adamant his relationship with his grape accuser was purely a BDSM one, where the two would meet up for rough smacks about once a week and nothing more. Y'all, I can't say this enough. Why didn't you even have an NDA? Because you was being cheap. Because she would do it cheaper than everybody else. The only thing is she wouldn't sign an NDA. And you thought, and again, I don't think this girl ran game on him. I don't think a 19-year-old can run game on a 56-year-old. Was he in the Hall of Fame? Professional athlete? He's seen some things. Stop it. Right? I do think this. I think that Shannon, maybe she tricked him. Maybe it was true. I think Shannon thought he had so much mental control over this girl that she wouldn't make a step or a move outside of him. And you know what brought this all to play? Why this all happened? She saw him cheating online on her with Michelle. So this girl thought she was in a monogamous relationship. You were promising her a baby. Dummy, why would you promise a Division I crash out, which is a 19-year-old, a family? They take that shit seriously. You thought you had so much mental control over her that you literally went live cheating on her. And then when she was like, I'm done with you, stay away from me, and broke up with you, you, according to her, pushed your way into her apartment and did that ain't rape and no cop. And here's the thing. Let's just say this is a setup. Let's just say that everything Shannon Sharpe is saying is true. Let's just say this is a setup. Let's just say, right? You cheated on a 19-year-old that was telling you she wanted to have your big black baby, racist 19-year-old. You cheated on a racist 19-year-old that was fine to spit in your face and call you a ninja, right? And Shannon, why'd you pay her? She would have been happy to do it for free. I think she enjoyed it over 100 times. You took a 19-year-old who doesn't respect you because she's into the race play and she's obviously racist. And you just got caught cheating on her. And she wants to have your big black baby, right? And she wants to have your big black baby. And then she says, I'm done with you. And she is furious and livid. And you decide to go over there and have, if we believe you, consensual rough sex with her. Did you not think she wasn't going to get her lick back? But at that point, this is me, because maybe I'm a little scary, right? When I really do somebody wrong, you'll never got to worry about me trying to beg you to forgive or forget. I leave. I'm not around. I would never trust that you wouldn't get your lick back. I would never trust that as much as you swallow my face, as much as we're cool, the minute you can get your lick back, you're going to get it in. It's like that's why I try to live a good life. When you screw people over, you open the door that their guilt will not stop them from screwing you over. So even at your very best, it was still a stupid move because you put this little girl, in a situation where she now wanted to get you back and she already didn't respect you and she was already racist because look what she was doing for a living. And no, I saw you on the comments. Oh, this doesn't mean, it does mean that she's racist. Because pay her, inbox her right now and see for $1 million if she'll do it with a dog. See for $2 million, will she do it with a 5-year-old? See for 10 million, will she do it with her father? See for 20 million if she'll do it with her mother. She won't. She got boundaries. It's just the fact that for her, the racism isn't a deal killer. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, let's get back into Shannon's dumbass. Where are we? Oh, that's right. Dragon Shannon. Again, sources close to Shannon told TMZ Sports on Thursday that he engaged in kinky, consensual sexual activity with Jane Doe about 100 times in both Los Angeles and Nevada from late 2022 to January 2025. So she was 19, 20, 21, 22. They insist that while the intimate encounters featured and role play of the Django Unchained kind, none of it was ever consensual, forcible. In fact, the sources added it was his accuser, an OnlyFans model, who requested most of the physical acts, claiming her text messages showed she liked to be tied up and wear a dog collar during some of their time between the sheets. Numerous texts from her, they say, capture her demands, including one where she explicitly writes, I want you to tie me up like this and abuse me. Wow. Shannon really is the weakest link. You big dummy. Did you not realize that she was just trying to get a bag? I 100% believe she didn't enjoy this, but it was a job and it was consensual. She was only doing it to make your big black baby self happy. But here's my point. This is your defense to slut shame her? This is your defense in 2025 that because she agreed to do the nasty and the freaky deaky with you over 100 times, that means that you had carte blanche to do it 101? Let me put this in ways that the misogynist and misogynist can understand. If my man gives me a credit card to use 100 times, and baby, if you're watching, thank you. I appreciate your trust in me. right? But if my man gives me his credit card to use, and then I do something and he breaks up with me, does that mean I can go and use the credit card again when I know he said you better give me back my credit card and I'm done with you? Because someone gave you permission to do things 100 times before does not mean that you have the right to violate them 101 times. Again, how is this helping him in 2025? The way, and this is how you can tell Shannon is 56. And he grew up in that misogynist sport culture. I'm not saying all men that grew up in that culture are misogynist. I'm saying Shannon is. Because you don't even understand that the toxic ways we look at the way you treat women and relationships, Shannon don't even realize that in 2025, baby, it's not that big a deal to come out and say you gay. In 2025, it's not that big a deal to say that you might be bi. In 2025, it's not that big a deal. I mean, Cardi B is dating that one guy. Now, I'm not saying that he is bi, but I am saying that people says he looks like it and nobody cares. He's so old, he doesn't even realize this ain't olden times. Nobody, I don't care. It's not a drag. Okay, you buy, you in this, you like your hairdresser, stylist, whatever it is, right? Even if that's the case, you don't even realize it's not the drag you think it is anymore, but in your mind it might. The fact that at 56, you messing with 19-year-olds and you don't even understand what consent means in 2025, leave them. But again, I would say leave those young girls alone, but you would have tried to do that to Miss Mabel after she made you a picket line. Sorry, not Miss Mabel, because he ain't dating an older black woman. Miss Sharon, right? Sharon's like the black woman that's like, she's the opposite of the Karen. Sharon is down for you. Sharon be windmilling in like the HR meetings. Sharon be doing that thing, right? But, oh, hold on. Something new just came in. Oh my God. You guys, this is breaking news. This has just come out. Should I finish my joke or do the breaking news? Okay, let me finish my joke real quick. Anyway, you come up behind Miss Sharon after she made you a pecan pie and try to choke her and this and that. She might catch you with a razor blade. That's all I'm saying. You don't want an older woman. They ain't going for it. Listen, you guys, heads up. This is breaking news. Shannon Sharpe is done. His career is over. Listen, this is directly from JPA Football on Twitter. Report. During Shannon Sharpe's time at FS1, he was accused of choking a female production assistant in the workplace and reportedly settled with the accuser for several $100,000. A rep for Shannon Sharpe had this to say regarding the matter. There was no incident of choking involving Shannon on the FS1 set. On one occasion, he and a few colleagues were involved in some light physical interaction in a playful context. Fox Sports later chose to resolve the matter privately. For further details, we recommend contacting Fox directly. Shannon Sharpe, they said the alleged incident took place, which has not been previously reported, took place while Shannon Sharpe was a co-host on FS1's Undisputed. Y'all, this is, whoa. They said, as you guys know, before his time on ESPN, he was a co-host of SS1. Hold on a second. More's coming in. Listen, so the reason they're saying he's suspended is because Fox did an investigation and they didn't have to dig that. ESPN did an investigation. They didn't have to dig that deep. I see why they now suspended him. They said one source said, okay, so he was a co-host of SF1's Undisputed. He was accused of a female production assistant in the workplace. Two sources with knowledge of the incident tell Front Office Sports. Okay. One source said that Shannon and Fox settled with the accuser for several $100,000. There was no lawsuit filed against Shannon in the incident. Shannon, again, and this is the dumbest thing, Shannon going to lose. Why didn't he pay that girl that $10 million? Oh, he going to lose big. There was no incident of choking involving Shannon on the FS1 set. On one occasion, he and a few colleagues were involved in some light physical interaction in a playful context. Fox chose to resolve the matter privately. A representative for Fox declined to comment prior to the statement from Sharpe's camp and could not immediately be reached for a follow-up. Wow. This girl met Shannon Sharpe at a gym in Los Angeles in 2023. He was 60 years old. This is, hold on, y'all, really quick. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, right? Listen, this is wild. So this is a pattern. This is a pattern for Shannon, and this is why he's trying to discredit. Listen, I will say this. I think we officially found a worse lawyer than Tony Busby, because what is this? This is your response to the accusation that you settled for hundreds of thousands of dollars for choking out your production assistant. It was never choking. It was just light horseplay on the set that Fox and you settled for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yo, Shannon, okay, so first of all, put me in the comments. I'm going to keep reading this. Do y'all think that Shannon is guilty? Do y'all think that Shannon is actually guilty? Put a 1 in the comments if you think he's guilty. Put a 2 if you think this girl's putting 20 on 10. I will say that this new report, Shannon got a problem. Shannon got a problem. He likes choking, white women. They gotta be white, because he's a self-hating black man. And again, if you come at me and tell me that people involved in race play are not self-hating, I'm gonna know that you did it. And I'm gonna know that you're into it. And we're gonna laugh at you. Baby, let them be named, let them be shamed. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X did not fight for you to pay thousands of dollars for somebody to spit in your face and call you a ninja. Nope, we reprogramming you. We reprogramming you. Anyway, right? We are reprogramming you, nah, baby. And listen, if you are not black but you still enjoy that, no, get some self-respect. Okay, so get this. He said that. Okay, so what did he say? Hold on. He insisted that while their intimate encounters featured and race, none of it was ever non-consensual. In fact, he added it was an accuser that would be like, "Oh, please, that dummy, she just wanted a paycheck. She told you $25K for everything. You really thought, you know what, man, I'm gonna have a conversation with you. Do y'all really think that, and I know that it's a common male fantasy, do you really think a 19-year-old is interested in you in the 56? If you didn't have money or whatever, I know you might say, I stay in shape. A 56-year-old body can never bang with a 19-year-old's body. It just can't. You move old, you complain, you this and that. Why wouldn't you just want somebody that's just like young, wild, and free? Do y'all remember when you were 19 how old somebody 40 years old looked? Can you imagine somebody 56 trying to talk to you? Why would you think this woman was ever interested in anything about you but your money? And that's fine, because men are sometimes only interested in women for their beauty. But why is the ego coming in that you actually think that they won't want anything more than your money and perhaps some fame? You are almost 60 years old. You are almost triple their age. I don't care how good the roids are banging. I don't care how good your body looks. You can't. No. And someone that's in the race, but literally. You're thinking that she's getting into it when she's like, you disgusting monkey. And you're like, oh, yeah. And it's like, no, she really do feel like you a disgusting monkey. But whatever. Anyway, right? Let me stop. I got demonetized a long time ago. I don't know why I'm trying to speak around this. Anyway, right? This live is just for ish and giggles. Anyway, right? Where are we at? Okay. So his accuser again claimed that during the later incident, she repeatedly told him she did not want to have sex with him without a condom. And he became more aggressive and made it clear he would not wear a blank and he was going to have his way with her. Tony Busby said, someone should tell Mr. Sharpe that when you are digging yourself a hole, it would be smart to stop digging. The filed complaint and audio speaks for itself. Busby then pointed out a text his client sent to Shannon on January 2nd that read, I don't care what our history is, no means no, Shannon. The only thing that would have made it better is she put no means no, boy. Anyway, Busby said, as you can clearly see from the text released by Mr. Sharpe's team, no means no, no matter what has occurred. Yo, this is wild. He blows his entire case out the window with the screenshot where and Shannon released these screenshots. I said no. That's all it is. Someone to say, I said no, and no means no. It don't matter what y'all in. Now you can argue, well, that was part of the stick. Every time she said no, I kept pushing on. But again, is that not buyer beware? If you're into that type of very violent, very kinky type of stuff, does it not have to be with someone you really trust? Does it not, like someone you truly trust? And there should be NDAs, there should be disclaimers, there should be safe words. You just can't be engaging in reckless behavior in this day and age and then complain, oh, she's trying to set me up. Man, shut up. You are not Emmett Till. That's another thing that makes me mad. He's trying to position himself like he's Emmett Till. Shut up, ninja. You was the one hopping in with like some shackles on your ankles and your thing, hopping in, talking about some Miss Daisy, literally bending over and her telling you to bend it, spit in your face, calling you a ninja, telling you to bend it over while she shoves her tongue in your underground railroad. You cannot pretend to be Emmett Till. You are the ninja that we talking about. You was a ninja. Look that they accused Emmett Till of being. You cannot play the Emmett Till excuse. And it's sick to me that you're trying to, black man, when you on your hands and knees in shackles, enjoying your bracelet, talking about, ooh, I'm a big black man going to choke the little, like, you. Let me tell y'all, somebody should have told Diddy this. And somebody needs to tell Shannon Sharpe this. If you are going to play the race card, because let me be clear, racism does exist. And mad as people get, white women and other women, and what people, they will mobilize, racist people will mobilize that and use it against black people. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I'm not making light of it. I'm saying in this case, no, Shannon Sharpe was the Django Unchained. Shannon Sharpe was hoping, Lord, let me find out they was reenacting Emmett Till. Literally. Shannon Sharpe loves to be degraded. He loves that race mess. He loves to be humiliated. And you did all this, no NDAs, no safe words, no nothing. Back to my PSA. If you are and I'm going to give you a free one, because don't black women save everybody? Dummy. If you want to pull the race defense, especially when it is not applicable, get a black lawyer or a black co-counsel, because you need somebody to understand black culture. I'll be honest with you. When I first heard that this happened, and I heard Tony Busby, and I saw what he did with Jay-Z's case, and I was like, hold up, it's a Busby case. You're going to have to show us some proof, baby, because you ain't getting us again. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Right? Well, y'all get what I'm saying, right? I said, I'm going to need to see some proof. But after I saw the text messages and him coming out proudly admitted he's into that prey stuff and he like to be treated like a buck that needs to be broken. I said, oh, that ninja's he's capable of anything. I literally said, he's capable of anything. He is out of his mind. He is capable of anything. He's a madman. And the fact that you did not have any black people on your council to let you know, hello, if you are trying to get the black culture on your side and have them rally around you the way they rallied around Jay-Z, You cannot do things that show that you might be mentally ill. You being into great play, let me know that you are like literally, like you are a few. Hold on, y'all. It's my nieces. Sorry, it's my nieces and nephews. They need me to. I'm on auntie duty today. I'm going to take them out, show them a good time, you know, blow through my bank account like money ain't a thing. But anyway, my whole point of the matter is that lets me know that you're out of your mind. And if you'd had a black lawyer, they could have told you that. Don't break. As a matter of fact, let's try to keep the Django Unchained stuff down. You know, Shannon like, oh, well, who don't like it? Who don't like this? Shannon, lots of people. Let me really quick, hold on. Let me really quick read this super chat that came across the screen. Shannon is out of his plumb full mind. He is out of his mind. Hold on. I missed the super chat. Hold on. Let me get into the super chat. Where's it at? I know I saw a super chat. Hold on. There's more breaking news coming out too. Hold on a second. Let's see. I missed the super chat. Where is it? Maybe there was no super chat. Was that my imagination? I don't know. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Petty Pendergrass said, hold on, let me see if I can get this over here. No. Y'all know. Okay, so Petty Pendergrass said Shannon looked like Darkwing Duck. Darkwing Duck. Yes, Petty Pendergrass. Welcome, Petty Pendergrass. Welcome to the Tattletales family. You came with a boom. Hit you with the whom. Hit you with the ha. Petty Critter. Okay, so let's keep going. Hold on. Oh, Metro EV Charge LLC. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much. Mistress Ebony said, Don Lemon just had Shannon's lawyer on his live. Hold on, we got that breaking tea. We're gonna get into that. Mr. Chocolate Cookie said, there was an incident that sent him while he was him. Oh wait, while he was at CBS many years ago. Was it? There was an incident involving him while he was at CBS many years ago. I'm gonna have to look into that. Hold on. Let's see. What else happened? Oh, wait, no, this is Patrick Mahomes. Y'all know who Patrick Mahomes is. Yo, what's going on in the NFL? He said, he made a real quote. He said, I've looked at some videos from last year, and I can't believe all you guys let me keep that nappy hair for so long. Look, I look way better now with the short hair, so I'll be keeping this going forward. House Negro. Hold on, let me go. Hold on. I'm on live, sweetie. My nieces and nephews, they've just discovered FaceTime. So they always FaceTime with me and tell me I need to comb my hair. Anyway, right? Anyway, hold on. Let me text them. Hold on. Hey guys, I'm working right now. I'll give you guys a call as soon as I'm done. But yes, we're definitely gonna go. Okay. So anyway, sorry about that, guys. Let's get back into the Shannon Sharpe stuff. So he was, his lawyer was on Don Lemon Live. Okay. Oh, so somebody made a good point. I want to read this to you while we're waiting for the Don Lemon stuff to come up. I have some quotes from there. Hot Pot Dasani, that's Ray Sani on Twitter, said, Shannon played this so dumb because he would have been fine if he hadn't released a text and doxed that girl. If he had just made a strong denial through his lawyers, there wouldn't. Sorry. Okay. If he had just made a strong denial through his lawyers, there wouldn't have been legs for a story unless Busby leaked. And I don't think Tony Busby would have leaked after what happened with Jay-Z. Shannon was the idiot who told us she was an OnlyFans girl, thinking the public would slut shame her, and didn't realize it made him look even creepier. Good point. He handled this like it was still the 90s when he was playing. 2025 misogyny hit different. That is exactly right. This is exactly right. Again, and let's not forget, when his biggest ally, Stephen A. Smith, being a company man at heart, again, Stephen Smith will literally told the company line, even if it's throwing anybody under the bus. The execs at Disney, the ESPN parent company, used Stephen A. Smith to get their message across that they're taking the accusations seriously and conducting an investigation. But also for them to let know, that means that there might have also been something happening on the set of his other show. He might have been dating people that were there too, and they were like, yeah, we don't like this. Okay, hold on really quick. Shannon Sharpe's lawyer. Again, you went to Don Lemon. I guess you thought, well, get it out to the black public. Again, I like Don Lemon's show. I'm just saying, like, what? Like, shut up. Just shut up. Again, Shannon Sharpe's lawyer is an old white man that doesn't understand black culture. He thinks it's normal for black men to engage in race play, and he thinks it's normal to invent that. Y'all, listen, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Ooh, listen. Who said this? Yes. Oh, I love this. Yes. The Bitter Female News Network. Anybody want to bet on her relationship status? Baby, anybody want to bet on my man's checking account status? I bet you it's more money than you ever seen in your life. I find it odd that you're talking about this is the Bitter Female News Network, and you are just so transfixed with the way my eyes shine and what I'm saying, and so amused that you literally have been reduced to being a cuck in my comments talking trash. Baby, Jesus wept. Jesus wept. Any news on her relationship status? Baby, the relationship status is you will never, ever, 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 ever even get close enough to smell my cocoa butter lotion in a room that I was in. That's my relationship status. What is wrong? I don't understand. Y'all want y'all King Kunta, right? I'm sorry, King Django to be set free, but y'all in these comments making these weird comments that literally is just going to put this man underneath the jail. I am sorry. There is no place for you in American society. I'm sorry you too ugly to get noticed, too broke to be used for your money, too dumb for people to take you seriously. So you have to hide behind avatars in my YouTube chat. I am sorry. I'm sorry that you thought that going after 18-year-olds was going to get you some girls because the women your age laugh at you, and then the 18-year-olds look at you as a loser. I am sorry. It is not my fault. You need to pray with God and hope that he bless you sometime. It's not my fault. It's not my fault you are too boring to be taken seriously, so you can't even get a podcast to be misogynist. It's not my fault. Stop blaming me. I'm sorry. Take it up with God. He put you on this earth. I'm just saying. I don't understand men like this. I really, honestly don't. I don't understand. It's weird. Oh, y'all, I don't care about that bitter. Like, what do I care about somebody that I would never look at talking trash? It's the feeling's mutual. Do not worry. You guys need to realize that when men you will never consider talk shit about you, I love that shit. It's candy to me. I don't want you around me. This is mutual. I hope you think I have the cooties and never come near me. It's the mark of the beast. Broke ninja repellent. Get out of here. And by broke, I don't mean money-wise. I mean mentally. Like, you're just broken. And these are the people that Shannon has on his side. Baby, you ain't beating this case. Listen, you are not beating this case. Listen, The male misogynist. It is, I've said it once, it's prom season. It's prom season. Maybe you can take your 2 pennies and give it to some 18-year-old girl, drop her off at prom. It's prom season. She might be impressed that you only got 1 roommate. All the other boys she know got 7. She might be impressed that you got a car. She doesn't even have her learner's permit. On top of that, you can drop off at prom and wait outside. Now, they card now, so don't let any old men into prom anymore. But you can wait outside while she slow dances with the boys she really likes. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Listen. I don't even think this is weird when it comes to their daughters. These same men talk about my daughter. They be the same ones sitting there while stuff is happening to their daughters and absolutely not doing anything. And as a matter of fact, the first abuser that broke their daughters, their mental is them. But anyway, right? I'm just saying. Listen. Please, I love it when broke ninjas are. Yes, that's the mark of the beast. Stay away. I don't even want you in my, I don't want your aura. No, I don't want your aura even around me. Listen. I'm just saying. LaRose, 7639. Thank you so much for the super chat. Listen, I'm just saying, take it as the mark of the beast. Stay away from me. That's right. Oh, wonder what her relationship status is. What do you think was going to happen? Please, can you pick me? Please. I'm saying, shut up. Anyway, you guys, Nicole said, Shannon stepping down to date his grandkids' friends and date badly. Listen, I just want to impress if we take everything Shannon is saying is true, you let a 19-year-old, you paid a 19-year-old to put you in shackles, hop around, spit in your face, call you a ninja. You literally was like, Miss Daisy, well, how's the Mr. Daisy? The cotton been picked. She's like, shut up, ninja, and was shoving cotton balls in your mouth. She probably, to put him in the mood when he came over for his service, because he was paying for it, right? She probably was in CVS, and the guy was like, wow, you sure do love cotton balls. Probably, people sprinkle roses around the room. She was just sprinkling cotton everywhere. Literally looking at DIY arts and crafts, putting it on twigs outside to make it seem like, literally, did she come in? What you doing, boy? And he on his hands and knees. I was picking cotton, Mrs. Daisy. Sweet Lord, what were you doing in this great play? You better shut up. Oh, but Mrs. Daisy, Master said, I won't be getting any cornbread and collard greens if I step foot. Miss Daisy, Master said no. Like, where does it end? And and you know what the funny thing is with this? Shannon, you better hope that there wasn't one chance that she invited Master into the bedroom with y'all. I'm just saying, when you into the kinky stuff, where does it end? I'm just saying, were y'all the only people in the bedroom? I'm just saying. What are you worried about all that tape getting out, right? And you know what the weird thing is? And I'm not saying that Shannon Sharpe is bi or gay. I don't know. But there's been rumors. There has. Y'all can Google them, right? But he was very, ignoring it, not saying anything, doing this, doing that. I find it weird. Y'all want to hear a theory I heard a long time ago? I don't know how true it is, because I never did the research, but it always stuck in my head just a little bit. They said that there's a lot of men who are bi or bi-curious that take honor in graping women, forcing women, or being very rough with women. And I'm not saying if you're into that rough stuff, you are gay or bi, but they take a thing because it's not about what they did to women. It's about bragging to other men the way they treated that woman. And I don't know why, but that saying just sticks into my head as we talk about the Buckster, right? The Buckster. I said he got gems from Monique and Kat on his own show, but didn't listen to a word they said. Like my friend says, who don't hear does feel. Listen, it is so, so true. Oh, get this. Also, there was more news that came in. I got sidetracked. with the fan in my chat. Listen, not y'all. I'm talking about the Dusty. I'm not calling y'all fans. I'm saying the Dusty was a fan. Anyway, right? Okay, so this was literally the very first question and response of the interview, and it explains so much. Shannon's lawyer is really old, and he's operating like it's 90s or early 2000s, where all you had to do was slut shame any victim, and everyone agreed that prostitutes couldn't be raped or assaulted. Let me just play a little bit of this. Listen.
Side from ESPN. So where are we? What is going on here?
Well,
this is Shannon's lawyer with his shaky voice, like Robert Kennedy, the head of the what is he? The head of the FDA now? Like literally, like that guy. This is the way his voice. That's how you can tell he's old. His voice is shaking.
Add to the words stepping aside and start with that, and then I'll answer your question if you don't mind, Don. He's stepping aside. He's elected to step aside to take care of his family and to deal with this blackmail filled with lies by this individual who uses OnlyFans to make money and to act.
Uses OnlyFans to make money? Baby, it's 2025. Do you think because somebody is a sex worker, they deserve to be raped or disrespect? You still think in 1999 where we can treat sex workers like they are disposable people? Who cares if she's using OnlyFans to make money? Dummy, your client was on OnlyFans giving her money. So what's really going on? Your client's a trick. Out of that situation, the trick to me is the more embarrassing one, not the person making money, but that's just me.
Out in role playing, but the reason that's relevant is that we are going to counterclaim and file suit against her. She will be under oath, and we will show that what I'm saying is true. She's lying about anything other than consensual sex. There was never anything but consensual sex. The reason we sent out her own words, her own text messages, is that she often asked for rough sex. She, in a text message that we just recently put online, she said, "I want to be in a dog collar. Daddy, I want your black babies." She has been...
I'm sorry, hold on. I'm gonna have to rewind that one. She said, sounded like old Saint Nick. She said, she like just the old sound. She said, "I want to be in a dog collar. Daddy, I want your black." Wait, ew, that's disgusting. The way he said, she says, "I want your black babies." So Shannon Sharpe is now trying to say that the reason he didn't wear a protection Trojan man was because she said she wanted your black babies, but you put it in the back door. So now you're trying to say that the reason you didn't wear a condom with a sex worker is because she wanted your baby. Ew, Shannon's disgusting and dumb, just dumb.
Text message that we just recently put online, she said, "I want to be in a dog collar. Daddy, I want your black babies." She has been role-playing on OnlyFans. She was role-playing and asked for this with Mr. Shannon Sharpe. So we are going to prove this in court when we sue her in a counterclaim. But I'm saying on the record, she's lying. We have evidence of her lies from her own words and what she was asking for in the text messages. But we will prove affirmatively what Shannon Sharpe said on his Instagram account. He's innocent. There was never a moment of other than consensual sex. And this is about blackmail and a shakedown scheme.
Okay, so people are dialing in at every second, as you know.
Okay, so are there police charges? Because if there are, Shannon's going to jail. Shannon is so gross, and he's such a dinosaur, and you're 56 still operating like it's 1999. Your lawyer is gross. Your lawyer doesn't even realize how he's humiliating you, but you might be into that because you are a buck that likes to be broken. Really quick, Monique, thank you so much. Let's Google Shannon Sharpe, CBS restraining order. Restraining order. And let's scroll down. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Here we go. It's in 2022. Shannon Sharpe update restraining orders dismissed. Michelle Bundy was infatuated, says acquaintance. Fulton County Sheriff's Office has a temporary restraining order that was filed against former NFL player Shannon Sharpe last week, and it has been dismissed. The former Denver Bronco player announced Thursday that he was taking a leave of absence from his NFL analyst position at CBS Sports after Michelle Bundy accused Shannon of SA, claiming, oh my God, Mr. Chocolate, thank you so much, claiming that he forced her to have sex with him, threatened her life, and stalked her. Details regarding why the restraining order was dismissed have not been disclosed. But when someone who knew Bundy learned of her accusations, it didn't come as a surprise. They said, my first reaction was, oh my God, this woman is trying to put the screws to this guy, said Troy Holkler, a Denver area acquaintance of the woman. Everyone knows this is a lie. This is what the woman went out to do. This was, if you guys don't know, this article was in 2010, and Shannon is still living in 2010. Only in 2010 can somebody accuse somebody of rape. And then an acquaintance of the woman says, everybody knows this is a lie with no evidence. According to Thane Davis, another acquaintance, Bundy was infatuated with Shannon Sharpe. They said Davis and his wife apparently allowed Bundy to live with their family for a few months, but says Bundy overstayed her welcome and was eventually escorted out of their home by police. She has some insane idea in her head that he's going to be in a relationship with her. She was fabricating stories against me too. Davis said Bundy met Sharpe when she received media credentials while working for the television station in Denver, giving her access to the locker room and games. He claimed Bundy lived in New York for approximately 5 years before returning to Denver this year, more recently moving to Atlanta area. Yeah. Shannon's done for. Shannon M. Effin Sharpe is done for. Anyway, you guys, listen. Let me get out of here. I'm going to do some research. Also, if you want, Shannon Sharpe's lawyer is he did an interview. He sounds unhinged, but he's basically trying to shame and saying because she said one time, it can keep going over and over and over. Listen, let me know what y'all think in the comments. If I get any new information, I'll come back on live. I promise I'm going to come back on live and talk about the updates, and I'm going to see if I can actually talk about what's in that tape, because it is bad. And there's a reason they keep bringing up the dog collar too, but we'll talk about that later. All right, y'all.